On NFL Live, Lamar Jackson is 58-19 in the regular season, second best in the league since he debuted in 2018, behind only Patrick Mahomes. But that success has yet to translate to the postseason. 2-4 in his career in the playoffs, 0-1 in the conference title game. Of the 10 QBs to win multiple MVPs, Jackson's the only one below 500 in the postseason. Lamar addressed the doubters this week on Mad Dog Radio.
I mean, I'm motivating myself because I know what I want to do at the end of the day. Those guys had their time. I really don't care what the criticism is, what the critics say, because at the end of the day, I just came off a season-ending injury the year before, and we made it all the way to the AFC in the new system, So it's nothing to be down in myself, my teammates, or anything like that, because we made it far. We just got to keep going, and God's will, we'll be there, because that's our goal. We criticize ourselves more than anyone else. So what people say on the outside, that's just their take.
Mike Tanenbaum, this team's won a trio of divisions with Lamar Jackson, an AFC 1 seed, I believe, twice. They've only reached one AFC championship game. How can this Ravens team finally get over the hump in the playoffs?
Be successful running the ball when the opponent knows you're going to be running it. Last year, Phil, the Baltimore Ravens blew 3 fourth-quarter leads, and I think Derrick Henry is the perfect player for this. It's the old axiom, pass to score and run to win. The best teams I was on in my career, we were able to finish games by securing the line of scrimmage and running the ball when our opponents knew it was coming. And that's really the mindset of what John Harbaugh wants to do, that physicality. And Derrick Henry, to me, will have the ability for them to finish games in a way they haven't been able to do in the last couple of years.
I agree with you on Derrick Henry. I think he's going to be that finisher, the guy that can kind of run the 4-minute offense. But I think in order for this team to get over the hump, their best players have to play their best at crunch time. And their best player is Lamar Jackson. He's got to be that dynamic guy with the ball in his hand. And that's not just throwing the football. That is getting outside of the pocket, running the football, making plays. The difference between peak Lamar Jackson and peak Patrick Mahomes, guys, is not a ton. We've seen Patrick play his best, though, at the most crucial times in the postseason, in the biggest games. Lamar Jackson can do the same thing, and I expect him to do that. And so if they can get to the postseason healthy and can run the football, Derrick Henry, I think, is going to help him. But at the end of the day, Lamar Jackson has to be that special dude with the ball in his hands. If he's that, they can beat anybody in football.
I think you nailed it, Bogan. The one thing I'd say, too, is I don't view their season last year as a failure by any means. I view their final game against the Chiefs as the ultimate failure. And to me, that's when they got away from what they are and what they do best. They didn't allow Lamar Jackson, or Lamar didn't allow himself to kind of go into that video game mode and do his thing. It was almost like if they were like, we're going to win this game by passing the football, and we're going to show everybody we can do that, as opposed to just finding a way to win. And to me, this team is once again set up to make that type of a run. I'm very bullish on the Baltimore Ravens. I do not think last year was a failure. I think their final game was the ultimate failure.
Booger, I want to follow up on one point. This is a team that lost multiple starters on the O-line. Their backup center left town. Lamar Jackson's talking about losing weight. What do you make of that transformation given the pieces that they're replacing?
Well, there are 3 guys on this screen, and I'm going to speak for the other 2. I think we could all stand to lose a few pounds, so I have no problem with Lamar Jackson losing a little weight. I think that's going to add added quickness and some durability to him. And the offensive line, I think, is going to be fine. There's a saying in there that says, play like a Raven. I don't ever worry about the toughness or the physicality of this team. And again, losing weight never hurt anybody. It's good to be a little healthier, Jeff Darlington. You can fit into those 28 slams now, KD.
You on NFL Live. Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson was cleared for contact last week, but had a setback today. Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski said his QB was limited with, quote, general arm soreness, saying, quote, I decided just to hold back a little bit with him, but not overly concerned. Still no word if Watson will play in Cleveland's preseason finale. We'll stay in the AFC North, where it's been a bumpy preseason for Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields have played 13 combined series. The team has 3 points to show for it. This is the opposite from last year's preseason when Kenny Pickett went off, though that success was curbed a little bit once the games that count started. New Steelers OC Arthur Smith thinks everyone should calm down when talking about offensive struggles. Smith said, quote, "To give context to it, when you want to play guys, we're in a unique situation where you need to evaluate. Preseason can distort reality, good or bad. We've all seen it. And that's not making excuses, but things happen in football." Russell Wilson also said today he would play in the preseason finale Saturday in Detroit. No word yet on if he'll start. Jeff, what more can you tell us where things stand with the Steelers' quarterback competition?
Well, it is significant that Russell Wilson is saying he'll play on Saturday. Now, this competition, while it doesn't feel like it's necessarily been decided by the play during these preseason games, it does still feel like it's trending toward Russell Wilson starting week 1. And I know that he did deal with the 3 sacks in the most recent preseason game. He actually had kind of campaigned to stay on the field longer than he was initially supposed to. Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator, was going to have him play 3 series, but he kind of lobbied to get out there for a couple more. He wants to get this right very clearly. I think that we shouldn't necessarily read into him playing as part of the competition itself, but more Russell. He missed some of training camp due to his calf injury. He wants to get as many reps as possible. So I think it is significant that he is going to be on the field on Saturday.
Booger, you were shaking your head through the entirety of that Arthur Smith quote. We've got 2 new QBs in Pittsburgh. We've got a new OC. Who do you think the Steelers should start under center week 1?
There's an old adage that if you have 2 of something, you don't have 1. And that fits this Steelers quarterback situation to a T. It's like asking a young bug, hey, bug, you want Brussels sprouts or you want asparagus? I really don't want either one, but if you force me to eat one of them, I'm going to choose Brussels sprouts because I can drown it with some sauce. Like if you're looking at Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, I think they both have their flaws, but if I had to choose one to start, it would be Russell Wilson. And I would just say this, I would hope that at some point, Russell's experience and his ability to minimize the mistakes and minimize the turnovers would show up, because the same flaws that he has leaving the pocket and not reading the football, not reading the defense down the field, they're the same flaws that Justin Fields. Now, I don't want to hear about Justin Fields' athleticism. That athleticism got him ran out of Chicago. At some point, that position, you have to deliver the football down the field. And right now, neither one is doing a really good job of it.
Yeah, for me, Booger, I would go with Justin Fields because he's 10 years younger than Russell Wilson. I think there's more upside, and I think his game really mirrors Ryan Tannehill, who had 2 great years in Tennessee with Arthur Smith. I understand that it's not the most polished passing game. That doesn't happen overnight, but I do think there's more ways for them to win games with Justin Fields right now than there is with Russell Wilson. And I would say this, unfortunately, Minnesota is looking for a quarterback in terms of they lost J.J. McCarthy for the year. If I'm Pittsburgh, I'm looking to try to trade Russell Wilson. Maybe I could pick up a 3rd or a 4th round pick. And Ryan Tannehill, ironically, is still out there, guys. So if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm starting Justin Fields, looking to sign Ryan Tannehill. And if I could trade Russell Wilson, that's something I would do. Keep in mind, last year, 66 different quarterbacks started a game in the NFL.
I get that.
Chào mừng các bạn đã quay trở lại với kênh YouTube của mình. Trong video ngày hôm nay, mình sẽ tiếp tục tạo ra những sản phẩm thật là đẹp và tuyệt vời để gửi tặng đến các bạn. Nhưng mình có một yêu cầu nho nhỏ thế này, mình mong rằng các bạn hãy ấn like và đăng ký kênh khi xem video của mình. Cũng coi như là để ủng hộ mình, để mình tiếp tục lấy động lực ra video. Mình cảm ơn các bạn rất là nhiều.
Và chi tiết tò mò nha các bạn. Không biết mình đang bận hay có thắc mắc gì đi tìm theo ý. Mẹ, cái hôm anh Kiên đã bảo là cái vấn đề về chơi game rồi, thì cái hôm mà em chơi đây ông này cứ bảo là chơi đi không làm sao, anh Kiên không làm gì đâu, vãi cả cứt.
Rồi.
Hôm mà anh Kiên bảo là kiểu nhắc về vấn đề về chơi game á, kiểu như là kiểu đang trong giờ làm mà vẫn ngây ngây cứ. Thế mà cái hôm người ta chơi đây, anh Kiên và người ta tắt đi lại bảo là chơi đi, chả hiểu cái gì.
Hết.
Anh Kiên lại tóm cỏ. Anh Quyết.
Lúc nào cũng nhắc điện thoại với tôi. Điện thoại mình ra mình lúc nào cũng phải điện thoại. Do cái gì mà tôi
Thấy chưa? Nói xong. Vừa nói xong. Thế đấy mà cái hôm mà em không cắt kịp thì mà anh Quyết tóm cỏ. Lại khóc.
tin với tô mò và nó thấy cái mình đâu.
Nhưng mà anh kia đang ngứa mắt là kiểu như là mình chơi như này mà sao trong video nó không cử động tay nữa. Đấy, anh kia đang tức cái đây đấy. Xem mà có chơi đâu. Xem mà. Thôi, xinh gái vừa thôi. Đấy, alo đấy.
Mình lưu số em đi.
Lưu nào?
Lưu có số bạn thì
Chứ bảo lưu số em đi.
nó đấy là nhạc nó tí.
Thằng kia tên là Giò, mình cứ tưởng là tên Việt Danh nó Giò, hóa ra tên Giò thật.
Do mà
Giò. Hồi đấy nó làm ít như thế nó chỉ làm đến 5 giờ, 5 rưỡi nó về rồi.
thằng à
Thằng Giò á.
nó làm cái mẹ nó ít tiền vì cái này. Bây giờ nó tiếp tục không.
Công đấy, như vậy video của mình nó kết thúc các bạn.